Rob, you start us.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Nice to see you. Look, it's an extraordinary story, an extraordinary rise for you. 6 years ago, you were playing non-league football over in Guernsey. You're here now in the senior England squad. That's wow. That's a heck of a meteoric rise. How do you feel about it, I suppose, is the most obvious question.
Yeah, obviously, over the moon. It's everything you dream for, and back then, like you said, 6 years ago, I was playing non-league football for Guernsey, and yeah, I wasn't even sure I was going to make it as a football player. So to now be in the England senior team, it's a dream come true, and yeah, I'm just grateful for all the coaches, my family, and everyone who's almost helped me get to this point today.
You wear the number 8 on your back for Bournemouth, of course, but you have played a little bit deeper. You played as a 6 as well. It's a big discussion we're having around the England setup right now. Who's a 6, who's an 8? Which do you prefer? Which do you think you're best suited to?
To be honest, I probably prefer playing as a number 8. I feel like you can do a bit more of everything, but to be honest, wherever I'm put, I'm more than happy to play. Like you said, I've played 6 before. In the Euros, I was a little bit deeper, and Elliot was further forward. I've played as a number 10, so it's good to have maybe all 3 of them positions where you feel comfortable and you feel you can play. But for me, I'd say my preferred position is a number 8.
Hi, Alex. You just mentioned it there that you played with Elliot before in the 21s. How much do you think that experience of playing in a high pressurised situation in a tournament will help you coming into this England squad? Yeah,
for sure, it's going to help, and it's obviously good that played with Elliot. I knew a few of the other boys as well through tournaments and in the younger age group. So all of them sorts of things help. I think obviously it was high pressure going into that tournament, especially with what the previous group done, and they went and won it. So yeah, there was a lot of pressure on us to do so. And yeah, of course we delivered. But yeah, it's been good. I've been in the England setup now since I was 18. So it's familiar for me. Coming away with the team. So it's been easy to almost settle in.
It's always a good time to break into the England squad, but now is probably one of the best, the last squad of the year, and then just one camp before Thomas Tuchel will name the squad for the World Cup. Have you allowed yourself to dream of maybe making that squad and being there next summer?
Yeah, to be honest, I don't think it's really sunk in too much yet. Obviously, that's the dream for everyone, especially the players here, is to be in that World Cup squad. But to be honest, I just want to come in, show what I'm about, and show the coaches here and what I can do and how I can play in an England shirt. So I'm just grateful for the opportunity to be here. Of course, the World Cup is definitely a dream of mine, and I've just got to take it one step at a time. Enjoy this week now. If I get the chance to play, hopefully impress and show what I'm capable of.
Congratulations. Iraola, obviously full of praise for you. I remember the Manchester City, Bristol City match in which Pep Guardiola said you were unbelievable in 2019, but 3 different knee injuries in 2 seasons. How bleak did you start to feel about your career, and who helped you get through that?
Yeah, it was definitely difficult. Obviously, I had a great time at Bristol City where suffered no injuries whatsoever. I played most of the games there, and then you finally get your dream move to the Premier League, and as soon as you go in, you're out for 2-3 months. So that was tough to take, and then almost since then it's been injury on injury. I had obviously the bad knee injury last year, and things were starting to look on the up, and then I go and break my jaw the last 2 games of the season. So it's been tough. The injuries have been tough. I've had great people around me, obviously my family being number one, and all the staff at Bournemouth, my friends as well, just getting around me and making sure I'm okay at all times, and pushing me, to be honest. But yeah, the club were brilliant. Anyone there I could speak to if I was feeling down or not feeling great at all. So yeah, they definitely helped there, but at times it was definitely tough, and I'm glad I've come out the other end and finally getting a run of games with no injuries. That's the most important thing. I'm just happy to be playing football again.
Certainly taking your chance. An outstanding season. It's quite a commute though from Guernsey, so is it a special moment for you and your sister over those many journeys that you made to St George's Park, having a Lioness on your team? How much has that helped you, and how happy are they all for you now?
Yeah, I mean, growing up, we would fly over every weekend together. She'd have her games for Hampshire, and I'd be playing for Southampton as a kid. So, every weekend, one of our parents and ourselves were flying over, and it took a lot, especially for our parents. The amount of money they were paying and the amount of dedication they put in to for us to dream to be footballers. It's a credit to them, and we're just happy now we're both playing at the top level. Obviously she's flying for Man United and for the Lionesses as well, so I couldn't be prouder of her as well.
Hi Alex, congratulations. Faye from TalkSport. You said that you wanted to impress and show what you're all about. What one thing would you like to show Thomas Tuchel that you can do, and what sets you apart?
I think, I just want to come in and be brave and play, the way I know I can play. Obviously, it can be a daunting experience to come into the senior team for your first time, but, it's important I just go out there and show, the ability I have and the ability I know I can produce. I'm looking forward to getting out there, getting to know the players, getting to know the staff, and it's going to be a good week. Fingers crossed I can play some part in the games, and just show what I'm capable of.
Thomas Tuchel highlighted the relationship that you had with Elliot Anderson in the summer in the Euros. What is so special about that relationship? Why do you play so well together?
To be honest, I don't really know. We just understand each other very well. We're close off the pitch, and it's a massive help having him here. When I come in for my first camp, it's nice to have familiar faces that you can bond with. I just feel like in the summer, the way we play it suited each other quite well. We knew when he was bombing on that I would sit back, and likewise when I would push forward, he almost knew when to sit. And he's an unbelievable player, and I think everyone here has seen what he's done in an England shirt and obviously in a Forest shirt as well. Shows the level he's at. So it's great to have him here, and I look forward to hopefully playing with him again.
Alex, it's a pity the World Cup's not in Slovakia, because you won the under-19s there, you won the under-21s there. I mean, you can't, even though this is the first time you've been in the senior squad, you come in with a winning mentality, don't you? Yeah,
and that's the main thing. I think, especially for all us, younger players coming through, we've been to tournaments as well, and we know what it's like. Obviously not at a senior level, but the pressures of being there, and for myself, I've won 2 tournaments in the youth teams here, so you know that pressure, and you know what it's going to be like being away for that amount of time. So I think that definitely helps. And when you come to the senior team, obviously it's a whole different step up. But it's it's a challenge, and it's something that, like I said, we all watch the tournaments growing up as kids, and that's where you want to be at the end of the day. So hopefully if I impress and show what I can do, I'd love to hopefully be in that plane in the summer.
Which World Cup do you particularly remember growing up, and what was it like in the household? Were you all gathered round? Did you have a shirt on of a particular player?
I remember the early ones for me were the 2010, 2014, but the one I remember properly when I was a bit older would be the 2018 World Cup, where it was very successful, not too far away from winning it, and then that was the one where I feel like everyone was dreaming. Obviously Trippier scored the free kick, and you're watching it with your friends, your family. Drinks are flying everywhere. It's one of them experiences, and obviously that one, and then the Euros that followed that are probably the 2 that I remember most fondly.
Hi Alex, Ian from 5 Live. You've just made a lot of people in this room feel very old when you're talking about the 2018 World Cup, I've got to say. Can you just tell me about the initial call-up as well? Because I understand you're a Tottenham fan as a boy growing up, so coming into this building here today for the first time with England seniors, but what was your initial reaction as well when you first got the call-up?
It's a crazy feeling. It's one it's so hard to explain. I think you're at home and you get the call, and the nerves are through the roof. You don't know what the manager's going to say. You set yourself up for it, but you don't really know what's going to happen. But obviously when I got the call and he told me I was going to be in the squad, it was just an unbelievable feeling. I couldn't stop smiling, and then you get off the phone and you're telling your family, your friends, everyone, and they're obviously over the moon and can't believe it as well. So it's a feeling that I'm obviously never going to forget, and I'm just grateful that he given me the opportunity.
And you've talked about the adversity you faced with your injury problems. What did you learn the most about yourself during that time? And then did you approach this season with a different mindset after the success with the Euros? Yeah,
for sure. It's about myself. It was more that I can get through this, and I can get myself back playing and back fit. I think after the last knee injury I had last season, I think I came back into the team and played 5-6 games in a row, because before that I was looking at it and I hadn't played more than 2 games in a row. So I never really got into that rhythm of playing, and I feel like when I overcome that injury, started playing a bit more, it was almost to prove to myself that I can do it at the top level. See, the Euros definitely helped in the summer. Coming into this season gave me a lot of confidence, and I came back to pre-season and I wanted to fight for a starting position, which I didn't have too many opportunities last season to start games. And then I've started the season pretty well, and I feel like a lot of that comes from the confidence I took from winning the Euros.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Hi, Alex. Just on that number 8 position you play, who are the players that you look at and that you admire and you try and take things from in your own game?
I think the main ones for me are Pedri is probably one of my favourite players in the world. Obviously, Jude here, it's maybe a bit more advanced, but these are the type of players that we look at, especially growing up. I mean, I think Jude's the same age as me, but it feels like he's been around for about 10 years. But yeah, definitely those two are the main ones I look at. I think they've been doing it at the top level for so long now and won countless things for their clubs. But yeah, both top players, and you almost take parts of their game and try and learn from them and look at what they're doing and put it into your own game. Obviously, Declan Rice as well is another one, doing it in the Premier League. So it's good to see what he's doing every week, and then hopefully take parts of his game and put it into my own as the main objective.
And obviously, when you first came through, you had that nickname of the Guernsey Grealish. How different do you feel your game is from then to now, and what's changed about you from when you had that nickname?
I think I've definitely matured as a player. Learned a lot more about the game, especially defensively. I think at Bristol City when I was 18, 19, it was a lot of freedom, and the manager there gave me a lot of freedom to go out on the pitch and almost do what I wanted. And then you sign to Bournemouth in the Premier League, and the tactical stance on things is a whole different world, and it took me quite a while to adapt to that, and I found it tough at first. But yeah, got there in the end. But I think definitely the maturity and my defensive capabilities now are a lot better than what they were back then.
Three more in the live section. Rob, Carrie, and Eugene.
We saw the great moment where you told your teammates, your squad at Bournemouth, that you'd been called up to the England squad, and it was such a nice reaction. But it said to me that that's a family. It made me realise just how close you are as a squad. And obviously, you've surprised an awful lot of people in the way you performed in the Premier League as a team this season. How much has that surprised you, and how much has that given you the opportunity to be where you are right now?
Yeah, it's massive for us. I think the squad and the team we have there, and just the whole family, culture at Bournemouth is massive. I think we're all in it together, and we're also happy for each other when one another succeeds. And I think that video definitely shows that, how happy they all were for me. And I went in that morning. I told a few people that were in early, and then I saw the cameraman was in the gym waiting, so I knew that I was going to have to get up and do that speech. So I was already thinking about what I was going to say. But no, the team there is massive, and it shows this season how we started. I think how close we are on the pitch and definitely off the pitch as well. We were always together, even away from the training ground. We're meeting up, going for lunch, going for coffees and stuff. So it's good to have that, and it definitely helps us on the pitch to succeed.
You've mentioned a couple of names there, and as a young Tottenham fan, Harry Kane as well. Have you had any particular advice from Harry, Jude, or Declan, who we know loves putting an arm around a young player?
I've not had too much advice off him yet. Obviously, we've only been here for a short time. But yeah, like I said, Harry Kane, obviously massive. When I was growing up, one of my favourite players, and the other two as well, I've looked up to for plenty of years. So it'd be nice to get out there, we'd train with them today, and have conversations, learn more about them as people, and learn about them as players as well. And yeah, I'll be looking to like I said before, hopefully take parts of their game and learn as much as I can in this week that I'm here with them.
2 major titles of England already. Can you tell us what improved you or what you took from each as a player each time, and how much that helps your confidence now coming into this camp? How much those titles improved you at each time?
Yeah, I think definitely with the 19s one, that was almost my first experience of a tournament with England. So yeah, I was just happy to be there, to be honest. And wasn't sure if I was going to play too much. I'd only just come into the group for one camp with the under 18. So yeah, I was happy to be a part of that squad. And once you're there and once you're in it, you're just enjoying it. Every game that comes, you just want to win. And like I said, I've been lucky with the England groups I've had. Like the tightness of the groups has been immense, really. And we've been very close off the pitch in both of the groups. The 19s one to win it. I think you learn a lot about yourself. playing wise and playing in the tournament format. And I feel like a few of us, we definitely took that into the under 21s tournament and helped us massively because result we ended up winning it. So yeah, it's amazing to be playing in tournaments. I'm grateful for those opportunities I've had, and hopefully, yeah, if I get the chance, I can take it into a senior tournament.
Hi Alex, a slightly different one. The BBC have been asking people in football what rule they would change if they could rewrite the rules of football. So if you could, is there anything you'd change?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I'd say I think you need to be rewarded for worldy goals. I don't know in what way, but if you score an unbelievable goal, it needs to be rewarded more than just a singular goal for me. I don't know who would decide that because the opposition team will probably say it's not a worldie, but yeah, I think that's probably a rule I could change if I could.
Alex, hello. Can you give us a bit of insight into what it takes, explain the commitment, I suppose, that a football career from Guernsey involves, particular Isthmian League with Guernsey? I mean, talk us through an away trip, for example.
Back then, so it starts on a Saturday morning bright and early. It's probably about a 6 a.m. flight. You fly over for the game, play the game, and then fly straight back home. So it's your whole Saturday gone. But the biggest commitment for me, I think, was when I was a lot younger. Every weekend it would be Friday. I'd fly over to Southampton when I was in the academy with either my mum or dad, and then fly back Sunday night. So at times I was missing, half a day of school on Fridays, and when day release comes in, you're missing a whole Tuesday of school. Obviously for me, I was buzzing about that, but it's tough for, parents at that age to be thinking, is this the right thing to be doing? Taking them out of school for something that, isn't promised. So the commitment is huge, and, even just your home life growing up from the ages 8 to 12, I was away every weekend. So the only chance I'd get to see, my friends or family back home would be, during the week. So stuff like that's hard growing up, but thankfully now it was all worth it. I think when I got released, it was pretty upsetting that they almost did that to me. Obviously, I probably wasn't good enough at the time, and they saw that and released me. But it just felt like 4 years of my life had been committed so much to this, and for it to be blown away like that was it was heartbreaking at the time. But I think that definitely helped me. I took maybe three years just playing local football back home, seeing my friends again, enjoying life, seeing family members that I'd not seen for a while, and then got to 16 and I was ready to take that next step again. And Guernsey FC gave me that chance at 16, playing every game there, and then Bristol City came in. So yeah, I couldn't be more grateful to all the coaches back home, but especially the ones at Guernsey FC who gave me my chance to play in men's football at such a young age.
Was there a point in that period when you thought maybe football wasn't the career that you would follow, and what might have been an alternative?
Yeah, of course it was. I think obviously I finished school at 15, and I was not doing anything. I went to college for half a year when I was 16, doing a sport course because I didn't know what else to do. I failed PE at school, so I wasn't great at school. So yeah, there was nothing really on my mind that I wanted to do. But I think when I definitely hit 15, 16, it was like I really want to go and push and try and be a footballer again. But before that, yeah, it was clueless. I didn't know what I was going to do, especially when I was at college at 16 and got my chance at Bristol City. They gave me a trial, and yeah, thankfully I scored a hat-trick in my trial. So I knew at that point, hopefully I was gonna get signed for them. And yeah, since then it's almost just gone uphill. So yeah, very proud. And like I said, back then I didn't know what I would have been.
Alex, how are you doing? Obviously, you've spoken about the togetherness in the Bournemouth squad, and I guess that might be tested a bit on Thursday night up against Velko and Petro. Has there been any words between you guys about that side of things?
Yeah, of course there has. Spoke to Petro and obviously Velko as well, and I tried to ask Petro if he'd let in a few goals from me, but yeah, he wasn't budging on that one. But yeah, it was good. He said, even on the game Sunday, he said, we're friends today, but by tomorrow morning we're not friends anymore. So that's just Petro, and that's Velko as well. The Serbian lads, they really enjoy it. They've got good banter as well, and yeah, it'd be nice to see them on Thursday. And yeah, hopefully, obviously we get the win is the main thing, and when we get back to Bournemouth, I'll make sure I let them know that.
And obviously, the other thing is you'll be the third serving Bournemouth player to represent England if you do come on and play after Lou and Callum Wilson. How proud are you of that side of things? And also, has Lou said anything to you about your call-up?
Yeah, obviously Lou was, really happy for me as being the only one there that's had a call-up. He gave me just bits of advice, told me to enjoy it, and that's just the main thing I've had off a lot of people is to go in there and do what you've been doing at Bournemouth. The lads have seen it in training. They just said, go do what you do here and do it there and show them what you're all about. And, the main thing is enjoy it and learn as much as you can. So, yeah, it was nice, obviously, from Lou to have that guy there who's also done it and also been here as well. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it and I'm going to take their advice on board.
Hi, Alex. I spoke to Tony Vance this week from Guernsey, who talked about how perhaps that period in non-league might have actually accelerated your development, the fact that you weren't in an academy while perhaps other kids your age were. I just wondered if you could talk about that and that effect of playing men's football and perhaps how that impacted your development.
Yeah, I think it was definitely important for me. I think to get that chance at 16, I think it helped, massively when I first went to Bristol City, because a lot of them had not played men's football, just come through the academy and as a scholar, 16, just playing under 18 football. And I think I almost had that bit of advantage over them where I'd experienced men's football and, I can take that side of the game into, the academy side. Again, it's one of them. I was probably maybe a little bit behind on, I don't know, the technical stuff of academy football and the way that's different to men's football. But I think I definitely took my experiences from Guernsey FC and playing in men's football into the scholarship. And obviously it helped massively when I first went up to the first team at Bristol City because, I'd played against men much bigger than me and stronger, faster than me before. So I knew in ways how to deal with it. Obviously I had to learn again a lot from the senior players at Bristol City, but yeah, I'd say definitely at 16 playing men's football, and it's important. And I urge a lot of young players now to get out on loan as soon as they can to learn and understand like the real world of playing men's football.
And Tony just mentioned that he found it quite fun to watch you basically dribble around older men who thought you were quite little but couldn't get near you. I just wondered, was that quite fun for you to sort of take the mickey?
Yeah, I think the thing about Guernsey is all the lads that were playing for the team, I'd almost grown up knowing and seeing around the place, watching them play football, seeing them in the clubhouses after games. So, I knew a lot of them, and some of them were closer to my age as well. So, it was good when you go in at 15, 16 and you're training with these big lads and they're kicking lumps out of you and you've just got to laugh it off. And, they were brilliant for me, especially away trips, just helped me settle in, involved me in the banter and stuff like that. And, that definitely helped and made me feel more comfortable. Yeah, I'm not sure they liked it too much that I came in and started dribbling around, but, it was good. And yeah, we had a good time that season.
Hi, Alex. Hey. I just wanted to ask you about your relationship with Maya, because there can't be many people who really truly understand what it's like, the sacrifices you've made, particularly as a family. I mean, but obviously she's played for England already. What advice has she given you going into this?
Again, it was more just enjoy it and be yourself, show what you can do, and do what you've been doing for all these years. I mean, she's seen me grow a lot as a person, as a football player as well. I think back in the day when, like I said, when I was back home playing local football, she would have never thought that I'd have gone on to be a professional, and neither would I. So she's obviously so pleased with me. She texted me straight away as soon as she got the news, and it's nice to have someone around who's experienced it and been around the Lionesses and England in general, and she can help me out with advice on playing at the top level and in the top pressured situations.
And speaking of the Lionesses, I mean, you obviously are having a fantastic career, but it's quite strange and rare that there's another Alex Scott who's also had a fantastic football career as well. I mean, people must have mentioned it throughout your career that your namesake's also a big personality in football. Can you give us any sort of examples of what it's been like? People sort of mixed you up, or have you ever met her before?
The only one I saw the other day was that they said that I've done well getting called up and going on I'm a Celebrity at the same time. That's the only one I've seen so far. But yeah, no, obviously Alex got the female footballer. Obviously we've done amazing things for the country and in an England shirt. So, it's amazing for her and me to have the same name, and I'm not sure if there's been many or ever, if I do get on the pitch on Thursday or Sunday, that have shared the name and both played for the country. But yeah, only that the I'm a Celeb shout the other day was the only one I've heard.
Thank you, Alex. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Hi, Alex. Just goes to show that a male England football player can take inspiration now from predecessors like you're from Mayer and Alex Scott. Do you think that shows how football's evolved as a sport?
Yeah, of course. I think the female football now is massive, and it's grown so much. And you know, I've obviously followed it for quite a while because of my sister playing in it every week. So you know, it's amazing. You know what they're doing. The Lionesses have been, you know, unbelievable in the most recent tournaments they've played in, and showed, you know, what they can do as females in this sport. And it's amazing for the, you know, younger girls growing up who now want to go out and play football, and their idols are all playing for England. So you know, it's huge for the country, it's huge for the sport, and obviously for the females as well, and the kids growing up that, you know, maybe back in the day wouldn't want to be a footballer, and now starting to play football at much younger.
I just ask about your predecessors at the Channel Islands, Lasso and Letizia. Obviously, you're too young to see them live. Have you seen footage of them and been inspired? Did you know them? Have you met them?
I've not met them. Obviously, seen clips of Matt and the goals he scored, and that's the pressure that comes with it. There was, you know, an unbelievable player in Matt Letizia who came from the island. So for me, it's to try and beat him and go one step further. But obviously, some of the finishes that I've seen from him were outrageous, and I'm not sure I've got them in the locker, but I've got to try and hopefully match him. But it's good to have, you know, another man from Guernsey, and obviously Lasso from Jersey as well to go on and make it on the bigger stage.
Can I just clarify one thing? How does a future England international fail PE at school? What were you rubbish at?
The written coursework. Yeah, I think I don't know, to be honest, if I got top marks in football, but the written stuff, yeah, I was no good at that. Passed English and maths though, so that's the most important ones.
Cheers, thanks.